Hello and welcome to Thursdays with Annette at 2 o'clock. I'm so glad you've joined me today because I'm cooking you a real old classic. Who doesn't love a cottage pie? Well, this one today is out of book 7. A fabulous book, might I just say. And here is the chicken cottage pie. So we're going to be making that today and I'm excited because it's one of my family's favourites. But before we get into this, let's talk about the winners from last week's show. So they all won book 5. So they're very excited. Linda Taylor, congratulations Linda, Kylie Lonergan and Rosalind Brown all get a personally signed copy of book 5, and of course there'll be a giveaway at the end of the show. So let's look at the ingredients you need for this chicken cottage pie. Now you have 600 grams of chicken. Now in the olden days, back when I could remember, you could go to the supermarket and buy chicken without even thinking about it. But at the moment, it's not always easy to find. So I've used chicken fillets or tenderloins, if depending on which one you want to call it. So it's fine. Now the variation to this recipe is fish. And it is very nice. I do prefer the chicken, but the fish is not a bad way to go. So if you have some frozen fish in the freezer, use it up because you want 600 grams. We're going to use a teaspoon of garlic. We've got 3/4 of a chopped onion I want to do, diced onion. And I've also got here, keeping nice and warm, I've just taken out of the microwave so it's hot, is 500 grams of frozen vegetables. And they are the cauliflower, broccoli, and carrot mix. But it's really about whatever you can find. Look, Billy's just passing me the bag that we use because this is the one we got. It's the winter vegetables, and that actually has got beans in it as well. I don't care what frozen vegetables you use, guys, at this time. We're going to improvise big time. Thanks, Billy. Use any frozen vegetables you want, but you also put in there 1/2 cup of peas and 1/2 cup of corn kernels. Now, if you go, Annette, there's no frozen veg in the supermarket. I mean, what crazy times are we in right now, people? But you know what? Use fresh. There's a lot of fresh vegetables around. You might pay a little bit for some cauliflower, so maybe you would use a different vegetable. It's really up to you. 500 grams of veggies. I don't care what it is, but I've microwaved them for 10 minutes on high with a little bit of water, about a cup of water. And I've left that there because the idea is with this recipe is we make the sauce. I've got my potatoes, they just beeped. I've had them in the microwave cooking for 15 minutes, diced. You peel a kilo of kilo of potatoes, and I've diced them into small dice. I've cooked them with a bit of water, and we'll mash them later because we don't even need an oven for this one. I want the base to be hot, the potato to be hot, and then you chuck it under the grill to brown it with some cheese, serve it up for dinner. Fabulous. So 500 grams of veggies, 600 grams of chicken, garlic, onion. Now to make the sauce you use 3 tablespoons of corn flour, and we're going to use this sachet of spring vegetable soup mix. And it's a continental, it says simmer soup, and it really does give the flavour that you want in this recipe. And there's no trouble getting these type of things. We found this week in the supermarket, so you should be fine with that. Can of evaporated light milk and a cup of skim milk. So that's the base, the potatoes the top, and what we're going to do is we're going to mash the tatty with a tablespoon, I've got it over here so I don't use it first, a tablespoon of Floralite margarine, 1/3 cup of skim milk, and 50 grams or 1/2 cup of grated freshly reduced fat cheese. So I'm going to start by doing the chicken. All right, so we want it diced and you want it to be bite size, okay? Now I actually created this recipe, and I might turn my fry pan on because we're going to cook that first. I actually created this recipe due to the demand of my family because they love the shepherd's pie. They love the shepherd's pie. So that's the thing. I thought, what's another one I could do? Because it's the whole thing of everything being in the dish. And that's what we love. You don't have to worry about anything else on the side. You just serve it up. And it's funny because my daughter Jenna, when she was little, she would always request the shepherd's pie, which is in book 2, by the way. She would always request it for her birthday dinner. Yes. She even calls it her death row dish. That's what she calls it. So, you know, what she means by that is if you were facing death row and you had your last meal, what would you have? So I've mixed it around and you've got a chicken one, and it's a creamy sauce. It's not like the gravy one. It's you know, it is quite different. Of course, well, otherwise you don't want to be repeating the recipe, but I love it. And I know my daughter Rachel makes this for her family all the time. So I hope it's part of your resume now with cooking recipes. So I've heated my pan. Now let's just put in the diced chicken, 600 grams. Keep that sizzle going. We want to brown them off. We're just going to cook this for a couple of minutes. And what I'm doing is, when you do this, I always do the potatoes and the veggies first so that they're ready to go, because it's quite simple to make. All right, so we're going to cook that, and I'm just going to clean this off, wash my hands, and I'm going to do the onion. All right. So I've got a chopping board at the front here. We want 3/4 of a cup. So let me bring the cup to the front. Diced. And you cook this with the chicken and garlic. It's a really simple recipe, and I think you might find your family might put that on their list for, let's repeat that recipe, Mum. That was a good one. 3/4 of a cup. I might dice it all. Let's see how I'm going here. That's it. All right, so let's move this out of the way so I can bring my pan over. This is a great one because, as I say, you don't need the oven. You just need the microwave. So if by chance you don't have a microwave, then you would boil the veggies and you'd boil the potato in a pan, a pot. All right, so let's put in the onion now. And a teaspoon of the crushed garlic. Oh yeah, this is going to be our dinner tonight. So we're very excited in our house. And because there's only me and Bill, Rachel, my middle daughter, has requested the leftovers for her family. So I'm doing a food drop for her this afternoon. Look, it'd be a really easy recipe if you go, oh, it makes enough for 6, Annette. There's only the 2 of us. Truly, you could easily cut this in half and make it as a smaller version. Okay, this is looking great. So this is where I'm going to put the veggies in now. And remember, I've cooked them ahead. So there they are. Now the idea is you want everything to be cooked. You don't want to, this doesn't want to be raw because you're not cooking it any more than what you do now. So in go all the veggies. And sometimes it's just really nice to not have to worry about chopping veggies up. Because really, the traditional shepherd's pie that I have, it's a lot of chopping. I don't mind because it's well worth it. And it's a great way to get some veggies in the for the kids. You normally dice the veggies in the shepherd's pie, but as you can see, you've just got them as they were in the freezer section. So can you see? So chicken and veggies happening great. Now let's make the sauce. So in my dish, my cup here, I have got a cup of skim milk. I'm now going to add in the can of evaporated light milk. And so this is where you get your gravy, which is more of a white chickeny sauce. I'm going to put in the simmer mix. Let me just cut the top off. I mean, we're not working too hard here, are we? It's pretty easy. All right, so that's going in, as well as the 3 tablespoons of corn flour. Get that all in there. Whisk it up and pour in your dish. Now this recipe, if you've just joined me, hello, welcome. I'm making the chicken cottage pie out of book 7. I know, it's fabulous. And so I'm now going to just mix this up. And really, once that's boiled, you just let it cook for a little bit. And that sauce will thicken up. And I love it. I like a white sauce dish sometimes. It's really good. And I'm just going to wait till that boils. And then we're going to get on to the potato because, hello, we have a mashed tatty on the top. Now, as I said, you use a kilo of potatoes. You peel them and then dice them into a small dice. Because if you do it small, it means that you're going to cook them quicker. And the key here is I want your potato really cooked because I cannot tolerate, I'm sorry, no, I'm calling it, lumpy potato is evil. I know, I'm not having it. You don't want lumpy potato. All right, this is looking just a bit fabulous. I mean, whoever wrote this recipe must be so clever. Oh, sorry, did I say that out loud? Okay, so hang in there to the end because I've got a huge announcement for you. I know, I'm coming to you live from Budrum here today and I'm going to finish with something that's, I'm hoping, will make you super fizzy. So when you look at this, it's lovely and thick. I'm going to turn that right down and I'm going to move it to the side over here because I want to keep it warm. I want to keep it hot because remember, it doesn't go in the oven to cook. Look at my mess. All right, so now we're going to do the potato. So I'll just get it out of the microwave because it just beeped as we were starting the show. I'm just going to drain it because you want it well drained. Watch you don't burn yourself with that steam. And I just want to give it a really quick, just a very quick rinse. Just a little bit of water just to get that starch off it. As I said, drain it well. And now we're going to mash it. All right, so let's put that under there. So, masher. Oh yes, see how that's nicely soft when I'm cooking it? Well, let me turn that down a little bit. Give it a good mash. Some people use their stick blenders to mash potato, but I like to get in and get it going. And this is your top to this, because obviously it's a cottage pie. And what I'll add in now is the milk, which is 1/3 cup of skim, and a little bit of marge, which is a tablespoon. And we just give that a good mix. And it's a nice flavoured mash. I mean, where we've saved on the fats, because this is only like 6.5 grams of fat for a serve, and if you did the fish, it's 5.9. What a lot of people do with their mash is they'll put cream in or butter, lots of butter. But look, when you do this, you'll see it's perfect. That's all you need. So I've saved a lot of fats here with my mash. I've used the tenderloins. I'm not using the thigh because that's just extra fat from the chicken. Skinless, of course. And I've used skim milk and evaporated milk instead of cream. So you can see that this would be normally quite a high fat dish. So that's looking fabulous. All right. So I've now got my dish, which actually is the photo in the book. You'll see that if you look at it, if you've got it at home in the updated version, you'll see I've got a stripe there, the green one. This is it. So there you go. So this dish, if you wanted to measure it from the base, is 28 by 19 centimetres. So just so you know that what the size is. All right, so I'm going to now pour my beautiful chicken base in here. Yes, see how thick and fabulous it is? Let's just scrape that. As this serves for 6, it's the chicken cottage pie. If you've just, if you're running late, hello, where are you? Where have you been? It's a beautiful chickeny creamy sauce, which I just love. Spread it out. You've got your veggies, you've got your chicken, you've got your sauce. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this, I say. Good home cooking done the simply too good to be true way. Now, let me show you how I put the mash on the top. I get a fork and a spoon, and I get dobs of it. Don't just scrape it all on in a big chunk. You've got plenty here because I want to make sure everyone gets their quota of mash. And it makes it easier if you just do it bit by bit. Now you could actually swap this for sweet potato if you wanted a lower carb, or why not do 500 of each? Yeah, why not? All right, let me scrape out the potato because I want every bit of that tatey in there. All right. I'm making a mess over here at my sink. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to get your fork and just gently maneuver it around so you're sealing off the sauce and the chicken. See how easy that is to do? Oh my gosh, I'm excited about this for dinner. So this is out of book 7, and oh my gosh, there's so many fabulous recipes in there. And then what I do is I'll go over the top, because let's make it pretty. This serves 6, remember? And now the last thing we want to do is 50 grams or half a cup, of the reduced fat cheese. I like to grate it myself because I feel it's less clumpy, and I think that it's lighter, grated pieces than when you buy it already done. All right, so now what you would do is you would put this under the grill, have the grill on hot. You're going to put it under the grill until that cheese is melted and golden brown. And you can serve dinner straight away because everything's hot. Isn't that fantastic? Now, if, for example, you want to make it earlier in the day because you're busy, then you just have to microwave it to heat it up. Now, I've got 2 fantastic things to tell you before we finish, but I want to make sure that somebody wins this cookbook that has this in it because it's fabulous. So you know what you've got to do. You've got to like, share, and in the comments, hello, it's called #Symply with a Y, not an I. Just check your spell check on that one. Simply too good. And I'll pick 3 winners to get a personally signed copy of this fabulous book. I mean, who knew weight loss could be so deliciously healthy? Now, I've got 2 things I want to tell you before we go, and I've got to tell you about what's happening on next week's show. I'm really excited to tell you that due to popular demand, people have been asking for this for a long time, and I finally went, you know what, let's give them what they want. You can now purchase samples of the shakes. I know, shut up, it's fabulous. So instead of buying a box of 14, you think, I really like the coffee, but I don't know, what would the vanilla or chocolate be like? You can now, $3 a sachet, go online now, you can order them there, and you can try the different flavours. So you're welcome for the shake fans. Now, the big news, can I please have a drum roll, please? For the month of April, I'm going to be coming to you live 3 times a week. That's right, I want to support my community. A lot of us are at home now, feel a little bit hemmed in, so I thought, what can I do for you? I know, give you more of Annette. And we're going to have fizzy, fabulous time. So Tuesday with Annette, Wednesday with Annette, and the traditional Thursday with Annette. I know. So on Tuesday, my plan is that we're going to have an interactive show. One of the lovely people on the show suggested this and I went, my gosh, I love it. So I listened to you guys. So what it is next week, for example, I'm making scones because I know so many people struggle with these and they get these like hard balls of nothing. So I want you to go to book 4 where it's the simple light scones and get the ingredients because you probably got it all there because it's really just the basic stuff. Or you can go to my website under recipes and you'll find the recipe there for you as well. And it's a link in my newsletter that went out today as well. So I'm making scones. I'll be on at 2 o'clock each day, so it's the same routine. And I want you to make the scones with me. So we're going to be chatting and talking. I love it. So at the end of the day, we're going to have a great afternoon tea. Everybody in Australia is going to be eating a healthy scone next Tuesday. Wednesday, it'll be me chatting to you. I won't be in the kitchen, but I want to talk to you. I haven't done that for a long time. And next week, I'm talking about surviving Easter. How do we get through with all the chocolates and the Easter buns? And that's what I'll be doing on Wednesday. Now, Thursday next week will be the traditional show, same thing. And I'm going to be making, oh my gosh, honey prawn stir fry. Out of book 4, it is, like you might not want to go out and get Chinese at the moment. Make it at home. It's probably ingredients you've already got. It's not going to be hard to do. And really on the Tuesday show, I'm looking at really simple, basic ingredients because at the moment, we might be just cooking out of what's in the pantry in the fridge right now. And I really, really want us to be able to get through these challenging times and spend more time on health and in the kitchen and cooking fabulous, healthy food the simply too good to be true way. So that's me for this week. Catch you Tuesday. Set an alarm so you don't miss me at 2 o'clock New South Wales time because we've got daylight savings happening on Sunday and we can get cooking the scones. Alrighty, so catch you next time. Bye now. Yum.